What is up, everyone, and welcome back to the Wedding Planning Podcast. I'm your co-host, Monica.
I'm your other co-host, Amanda.
And we have two beautiful ladies with us today from Taffeta Tulle Bridal Shop, just located outside of Calgary and Airdrie, Marisha and Sam. So ladies, tell us about yourself and Taffeta Tulle.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having us. So about us. Well, I started, wait, hold on. Hey, you should know this. I know. I told you guys I knew this. Cut all of what I just said. Or leave it. That would be even better, actually. You want me to just go straight into the first question then?
Like, tell us about yourself. Who is Marisha? Yeah. How did Taffeta Tulle come to fruition?
Okay. How did Taffeta Tulle come to fruition? Well, the business has been running for approximately 18 years now, and I took it over in April 2018. So completely rebranded the business, restructured everything. But I started finding interest in bridal and bridal gowns when I was 3 years old. I used to watch Titanic all of the time, and I would just draw dresses over and over and over again. Yeah. And then it just kind of went from there. I started working in bridal when I graduated at 17 and really enjoyed it. So from there, I ended up going to Lethbridge College to take the fashion design and marketing course. I learned how to sew wedding dresses there, and then that kind of went right into my designing and where I am now with my own dress line that we carry in Taffeta Tulle, which is Michelle Bridal.
Nice.
Yeah, so I didn't know you didn't own it from the beginning.
No,
I thought that you had it from the start. I didn't know that.
I mean, we can keep telling people that.
Okay.
But no, it was ran by a lady prior to myself, and it was interesting. When I was 19, I reached out to her and I said, you should hire me because I'm awesome, because that's what 19-year-olds do.
Of course.
And I was a little bit cocky. And so we got coffee, and she said that she wanted to have an employee come on, but it just didn't make sense at the time. Mm-hmm. So fast forward, 5 years later, I guess, my husband and I were at a thrift store, and we saw these Taffeta Tulle bridal dresses at the thrift store. And I thought, you know what, I should shoot her an email. It's been a few years, see how she's doing, see how the business is doing. And then I met up with the previous owner for coffee, and she said, I want to retire. And then 2 weeks after that, I took over. So it kind of was manifested, really.
Wow.
I love that. Yeah. And how did the Sam and Marisha duo come?
Absolutely.
I feel like you have the same love story of Amanda and I.
My favorite love story.
It is. This is honestly a way better love story than we have with either of our partners.
That's like Monica and I.
Yeah, exactly, right? So Sam came into the shop with one of her best friends in November of 2021. So last November, and her friend had bought a dress from me. So then I believe you had suggested your other friend to come in.
Yeah, Brittany. I told her we got to go to this shop in Airdrie. She's amazing. We come in. She ends up buying her dress from her too. Yeah, and then on my way out, I'm like, if you ever need any help, I'm available.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I don't know. I had a lot of people make that same request suggestion in the past over the years, and I never really clicked with anyone, and something just felt right in that moment. My intuition was like, you know what, you should actually do an interview with this woman. And anyways, we did a very, very unorthodox interview and have been inseparable ever since. She's been the best addition to the team. I can't imagine doing it without her this last year.
Oh my gosh. So it's the two of you, and do you have other staff, or just the two of you guys?
Just us.
Yeah. Hustling.
Yeah, hustling.
And Sam, like, do you guys have a background in bridal, Sam, or this was just something you were like, sure, let's give it a try?
Yeah. I've always loved love. Like, I'm a hopeless romantic, and I just came in and I was like, I love it here. I just want to spend more time here. And then, yeah.
And now she
That's
spends
it.
way too much time here.
love-
But I mean, I'm sure you guys can relate to that too. Like, she naturally is just a genuine, outgoing, easygoing person, very organized, which I am not as a creative. I want to create and dream big, and Sam's like, okay, well, we also need to do this, this, and this. So it's a good balance. It's a good balance.
Absolutely.
Sometimes I don't know who's running things because she stays on top of things very
it's
well.
definitely you.
That's how I feel too. Monica's like, we should do this. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. We should do that.
Literally. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, you guys are, so talented in what you do, just from like the little glimpse that we know of like clients working with you. So we're so excited to have you on, and we love your story.
Thank you so much.
Let's get into the good stuff. Okay.
Let's do it.
As a bridal boutique I was going to say professional finish. I don't even ignore what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Tell us, when should brides start shopping? There's a lot of like,
There's controversy here in this.
Yeah.
subject.
This is a touchy subject,
mhm.
but I like it. I enjoy it. So we definitely recommend that brides are shopping a year in advance if they have the opportunity to do so.
Yeah.
However, not everybody does have that opportunity. Our custom line, there is a shorter turnaround time than the traditional ordering of approximately 6 to 10 months, right? Then you kind of want to allow those couple months for alterations.
Okay.
But we also offer doing a rush fee for any brides. So we can have a bride come in, 3 to 4 months prior to their wedding, and we can rush order their gown. So instead of them buying off the rack, they can actually order exactly what they want in that 3 to 4 months time frame. It'll just be a bit of an extra fee, but nothing astronomical. Like, it's reasonable. And then they would also receive those custom measurements. So when it comes to altering, they're kind of avoiding that process for the most part.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
So it all evens out in the end.
Yeah,
pay
for sure.
alterations or the rush fee. And
Yeah.
are the dresses that you guys sell, are we like, can I come in, buy off the rack, or do I have to like try on the sample sizes, wait for it to come in? Is there options?
Yes. So we are definitely moving more in the direction of just orderable gowns. However, with that said, I mean, we're open to doing off the rack. A lot of our stock, majority of our stock is very new stock. So it is current trends, and therefore something we want to keep in our shop, right? But with that said, we have, I think, like at least 60 gowns that we're trying to blow out off the rack constantly.
And how many dresses like are in the shop? Like, are people coming to pick from like 200 gowns, or is it more like boutique style?
The selection that we have in the boutique right now is approximately, and these would all be orderable gowns, 120 orderable gowns. So then we have another selection in a storage space that is about another 60 gowns that we would be selling off the rack. They're all discontinued, but they would be at a very discounted price because they're discontinued. Yeah. So yeah, we have options of both, but even with the 120 dresses that we have in the shop, with having that custom option that we do, you're kind of able to marry most aspects of all of those dresses into one. So it kind of opens up more options than 120. It's a lot.
That's good to know. I actually prefer like the smaller boutique-y style. Not that I've been dress shopping lately, but when I've gone with friends or I've picked up dresses for client, I picked up someone's wedding dress one time. I feel I was terrified, but I don't know. I think going into the bigger centers, it's super overwhelming. Like, I wasn't even looking for a wedding dress. I was looking for a bridesmaid's dress, and I was like, oh my gosh, like where do you even start? So I think having one amazing people like you to walk in and just be so like warming and like welcoming and having a smaller selection, I think is better. I think.
Well, kind of our whole business motto really is customer service makes all the difference. That's something that we always say. And it really does, right? I mean, the four of us right now, we're consumers as well. We don't want to feel like another number. We want to feel taken care of. We want to make sure that someone's got our back. This is a massive purchase and very emotional purchase. And so you want to know that you're going to be taken care of and that you're going to have the time to make the best decision for yourself. So that's why we offer appointment only. So it's only one bride at a time, as well as 2-hour slots. So we actually
that's
book
awesome.
Yeah.
You're not feel rushed. You actually have time to like decide your style.
How can you? You know what I mean?
Like, how can you do that in 1 hour?
Yeah, especially with the prices that are average in bridal. You want to make sure that you're 110% confident in the decision that you made. And we do not believe in pressure selling. We don't, we want you to be 100% sure, because we want to work with clients that are 100% sure in their decision too, right?
Absolutely.
Of course. So for someone that's never dress shopped before, what would be your top 5 tips when it comes to dress shopping? Because it could probably be so overwhelming.
Absolutely, it can. Yes. So the top 5 that we would suggest would be to definitely have an open mind and to be open to the consultant's suggestions and advice. It is important as a bride, and most brides will come in here with some level of inspiration for what they envision for themselves. But more often than not, you're not usually shopping for wedding dresses on an annual basis, right? So you might understand your body type more so for your business wear and your comfort wear, but how you're going to feel in a wedding dress, it is important to have a consultant that understands and knows how to work with your needs and wants. Like, for example, we had one bride that came in and she said, I need comfort because I will be backpacking for our elopement, and I need to be able to put the wedding dress in the backpack. So that eliminates a lot of things right off the hop, right? Like, we can't have anything too big. We can't have anything that's going to wrinkle like crazy when you pull it out of the backpack. And you don't want anything too heavy that you're carrying for hours before your destination. So things like that are important to talk about and giving us a full picture of what their day is going to look like. Yeah. And then in addition to that, I kind of touched on the inspiration. Having a reasonable budget.
What's considered reasonable for a bridal dress? Like,
there's the controversial question. So, how do I put this?
Like, put it in a range for us of what's reasonable in a range.
Absolutely. I would confidently say that our boutique has very reasonably priced gowns in comparison to our province, ultimately. When we have brides come in, especially depending on the level of detail you want on your gown, I think that anywhere from 2,000 to 3,000 is very reasonable, and usually, for the most part, can attain exactly what you want in your wedding dress. Obviously, the more fabric, the more lace, the more detail, the more handwork that you're doing on a bridal gown, that's where the price is going to go up, right? So as long as people are understanding of that, if you use an analogy of buying a new vehicle, right? You want to have, you want all the bells and whistles in a new vehicle, it's going to go up. And it's the same as a wedding dress, right?
Oh, of course. I think some people have unrealistic expectations and think that they can get the lavish dress for like $0 essentially. And we're doing our best to educate future clients and past clients on that. Word of mouth is huge for that. Our economy has taken a massive hit everywhere,
right? So if you're looking at your grocery bill or your gas bill, you kind of got to be prepared for the fact that fabric has gone up massively in price, and so has shipping. So that's going to change when people come in and they're like, well, I bought my wedding dress for $800. And I always ask them, what year was that in?
Yeah.
And it's usually a decade prior. Yeah. So yeah,
everything was cheaper 10 years ago.
My house was $400,000 cheaper 10 years ago. You know what I mean?
Well,
So
it's kind of the same with wedding like budgets.
absolutely.
People are like, in that first initial meeting, I'm like, tell me all your hopes and dreams, and I will realistically spit out what you're gonna spend on this, and you can tell me yay or nay, because
and then we work
people
from there.
have no idea. People have no idea how much it's gonna cost.
That's right. And you know, a lot of the time, due to our customer service and referrals from other brides, a lot of the time we have brides coming for their very first appointment here. So we're usually the ones that are breaking the news to them, so to speak.
Yeah.
And if they do end up continuing to shop past our bridal shop for their first appointment, they do find out really quickly how reasonably priced our gowns are in comparison to what else is out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also recommend that try not to bring too many guests.
Yes, that was one of our questions. How many people?
Yeah. We've, especially me, I've definitely found, I've been doing this for over 12 years. And if you're bringing any more than 4 guests to a bridal appointment, that can be very overwhelming and emotionally exhausting for the bride.
It's a lot of people. It's a lot of opinions.
It's a lot of opinions. And you can have 3 or 4 people that are the most uplifting, positive, encouraging, and that's great. And I highly recommend bringing those individuals. But if you have people that you're bringing that maybe you're going to be a little bit more critical than you need, maybe just leave them at home.
Yeah.
And they get to see your beautiful dress on the wedding day. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's the bride's choice. And I always encourage that to them in the fitting room when we're alone. Try to look past all of the other opinions and just remember this is your day.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Love it. Do you have one more?
Yeah, I do actually.
You're like, yeah.
I will. Hold on. So the other thing that we find, especially on Saturday appointments, because naturally in bridal gown shopping, Saturdays are the busiest days for people's schedules. We're usually working 10 to 8 or 9 p.m. straight. That's a choice that we make. We prefer that because we're doing 2-hour slots. That's cool. But don't do it yourself as the bride. Do not go to more than 2 bridal shops in a day. It's too much. You won't even remember what you put on. You'll feel so overwhelmed and stressed at the end of the day. It's best to just kind of start with 1 or 2 shops. If you feel the need to go to more shops past that, I'd recommend max 3 to 5 bridal stores. Because after that, honestly, they all start to look the same.
And you don't
remember who it was, but someone was like, I think I tried on like 100 dresses. I was like, oh my gosh, that's a waste of time.
Well, yeah, and I've definitely had those brides. I had one bride, I won't say her name. She went to 15 bridal stores.
Oh my God.
Oh my God is right. And she ended up coming in and thankfully decided to go custom, and we married a lot of the aspects of the things that she loved into one dress, and it all worked out in the end. But I said to her, I was like, girl, there's no possible way you can even remember 75% of what you put on.
Yeah.
Right. Gosh. Like it's too much and you're so emotionally exhausted that, yeah.
No, I totally get that. I went bridal shopping for my sister's wedding. We went to one shop and she put on 10 dresses. I'm like, I don't even remember what dress 1 was. Like, I have no idea.
Absolutely, right? Like that's a great example right there. But like on Saturdays, if we have someone coming in at, let's say, a 6 o'clock appointment,
Yeah.
sometimes they've been to 2 or 3 places prior to that. And I
Yeah.
always do like a 10-15 minute consultation before we start, get to know them, get to know their wedding, get to know just everything about who this bride is, and building that rapport. And they're so exhausted. They're yawning. They're looking at their clock. They're not in it. They're not present. And therefore, it's not going to be a positive experience at that point.
Not fun anymore.
No.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time I have suggested, maybe go get some rest and let's rebook, because
Yeah.
I'd rather you be at your best self for this than trying to push through because you feel like you owe it to me to be present for this appointment.
Yeah. I love, those were great tips. Thank you. I think people
Thank you for
need to
asking.
hear all of that.
Some people need the harsh reality.
Yeah. In
We
terms
like to
of,
give that.
We're really down to earth over
we're
here.
here to give it to you. In terms of like brides, preparing for the bridal appointments, what do you suggest? Obviously you said your tips, but in terms of like, I don't know, feeling good and getting mentally prepared, like what do you recommend for brides?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's use a Saturday as an example, right? Just being the busiest day for bridal boutiques as well as brides typically. Make sure you're eating. Please, God, eat.
Don't come in angry.
But I have genuinely, I can count at least half a dozen brides that have almost fainted in my presence.
What?
And we typically keep mints on hand to get their sugar levels back up, honestly, because they are so drained. They haven't ate because they're so worried about bloating, trying on wedding dresses. And you know what? This is reality. We're human. We're going to bloat. You're going to have stress leading up to your wedding day. You're probably going to be eating and drinking on your wedding day.
Probably.
You're naturally going to have a bloat. So I would rather a bride come in having ate a 7-course meal and feeling good in the sense that their stomach is full and they have the energy level to do this 2-hour appointment, and also putting on stuff in their normal, regular, everyday body, right? Because that's when you want to feel the best.
Yeah, and that's what you want to feel, relaxed.
Yeah.
And,
comfort is so important to our generation, right?
If you feel like you have to like suck in, or do whatever you got to do on your wedding day, that's shitty.
It is. Yeah. Yes.
Nobody wants to do that.
Low average. Yeah.
Okay.
We also say we also recommend, the odd time we'll have brides ask about underwear. I usually educate my brides in what I'd recommend they wear on the day, depending on the dress. But it's not a bad idea to wear a high-waisted seamless underwear to your bridal try-on appointments.
Okay.
And I'm not talking Spanx. I'm not a fan of Spanx. That's just me, to each their own. Some people really enjoy wearing them, and if they're going to wear them, they're going to wear them. But I find that they don't give the proper shape of the way that woman typically looks. So if you just wear something high-waisted, it's not going to be cutting into your belly when you're wearing like a low-rise thong, and then you're wondering why your, in quotations, paunch is showing. It's not even a paunch. It's just, we all wear too tight of underwear.
There we go.
Yeah.
Your hips are just showing. That's all.
That's it. Your skin is showing. So
Yeah.
just wear a little bit high-waisted underwear. That's something we recommend.
And
And
get a fresh spray tan and come in.
yeah,
No.
it's happened.
Don't do it.
It's happened.
Sounds like orange dresses to me.
It's a big expense for a bridal shop, and we stay on top of keeping our gowns cleaned and getting them cleaned regularly. So if you are wanting to get a spray tan, we totally get it that you want a nice glow for trying on stuff. Just give it a like 2 to 3 days before your appointment.
Gotcha.
Fair. Okay.
Let it set. Yeah. And then like we talked about earlier, just the other tip would be don't book more than 2 appointments in a day.
And should they bring their shoes, or like that's like an alteration?
Highly recommend you have that for your alterations. It's really, really tricky, in my opinion, as a consumer to know what type of shoes you're going to wear until you know the dress that you have. Just like hairstyle, jewelry, all of it kind of comes, in my opinion, after the dress to complete the look. We have a stool step that our brides stand on. It actually kicks them up a good 7 inches.
Okay.
So for all of our average height brides that are, 5'3", 5'4", they're actually at a normal height on that stool. So they don't have to stress about bringing a set of heels.
Okay. Perfect.
Yeah.
No, that's great to know.
Yeah.
So, all those tips. I love it.
Well,
Basically, come as yourself. Have fun,
honestly.
be comfortable, be you. We're not
That's
changing
right.
ourselves for the wedding day.
Yep.
So you
got it.
mentioned that you have a custom line as well. So what goes into designing a custom dress?
Excellent question.
What doesn't go into it?
Yeah.
Like, how does someone decide that they we're going custom?
For sure. So there's a couple avenues to going that route. The most common avenue as of right now is typically brides will go to multiple bridal stores. An amount of bridal stores that I wouldn't recommend going to, but at that point they've seen so many aspects of gowns that they like that they think, hey, what would it be like to get exactly what I want with all of these aspects married into one dress? So then they will usually book with us, and then we will talk the custom route. With going that route, we still do our standard appointment. We still put them in gowns. We try on necklines. We try on skirt silhouettes. We have our own website for our manufacturer where we have hundreds of lace options that they get to choose the type of lace that they would want, the amount of sparkle they want. It's down to the very, very small details of the length of the train, how far apart you want your straps. It's incredibly thorough.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So that would be the one avenue to going about it. The more that we've become known for custom, we have people reaching out right from the get-go saying, I kind of know that this isn't out there because this is really unique and we just like to come in and design this. We had a bride in the summer, very short turnaround. We did a rush order for her dress. She wanted a T-length illusion top with full colored floral. I'm sure you guys saw that on social media.
Oh, that one was so pretty. I love that.
It was incredible. And it was kind of a surprise wedding. They told everyone they were going to be doing a engagement barbecue, and then surprise, we are getting married.
I love that.
Yeah, that was cool. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, and then with the process, let's say you decide to go custom. The brides are very involved in the process. So I would do up a sketch at their initial appointment. We would choose their fabrics, the color of the gown, all of those things, take their measurements. And then from there, they would stay updated throughout the process. So there actually is a mock-up made that shows the silhouette of the dress. And they get to put that on while their dress is in production, just to make sure that everything's fitting correctly and it's exactly what they require. And then furthermore, when their dress is near completion, we receive photos. For example, if you were to do lace, they actually send photos of the lace pinned to the dress, placement, all of that. And then we and the bride get to approve that before the final gown is made.
So it's quite the process, very involved.
Very involved.
Kind of for someone who's looking, for something very, have something very particular and
exactly
wants to be very involved throughout the process.
Yeah. And unique. Yeah. One of one, right? No one else is going to have that dress. So yeah, we really enjoy it. I, of course, love the creative side of it. So it's definitely what I prefer to work on is the custom gowns. Yeah.
course. And do you also do like semi-custom where you can like take a gown that you have in the shop and like zhuzh it up?
Absolutely. So we do have our own dress line that's called Michelle.
Mhm.
And we have a selection of sample gowns from that line. And just like you said, let's say someone were to fall in love with the bodice of one dress, but they want the skirt of another, bing, bang, boom, we can order it like that in their custom measurements. Maybe they love a dress, but there isn't enough detail. Okay, well, let's add some bling or let's add some lace. And so, yeah, that's definitely an option too, because not everybody is capable of visualizing the full, right? And it's funny, it's always something I ask in the consultation aspect of the appointment in those first 10, 15 minutes. I always say, what do you do for work? And they're kind of like, what does that matter? You know, they always tell me, but it tells me a lot about someone if they have that creative mindset or not. And then I kind of know how much I can challenge them to envision.
Absolutely. I'm curious a little bit more about your line. What is your, I don't know, inspiration or like the style, how do you guys come up with Michelle?
Ooh, I mean, like I said, I started drawing dresses when I was 3, right? So as crazy as it might sound, I've always kind of had these ideas going through my head. And every year, just like anything, just like our regular everyday clothing, there's always trends. There's always things changing, evolving. So I have a general interest in following that. And therefore, I do my very best to kind of stay ahead of that trend or follow it at the very best. Like, for example, 2023, lots of gloves. Gloves are back, baby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, gloves, sleeves, a lot less lace, a lot less bling. So
simple elegance.
Simple, elegant, timeless. Yeah, I mean, and that's, I guess, a lot of our line fits that bar. But with that said, we still have gowns with detail. There is one gown that we have in particular, actually one of your brides, Devin. She knows, I named the dress after her, and I have a sample of it in the shop. Because the fun thing about our Michelle line is we name all of our dresses based on the first bride that buys it.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
So are they all dresses that you design custom and then you're like, this is on trend, this is great, other brides will like this?
That's one way. And then there's dresses that I just designed that no one has yet seen. And then I just have them on the rack and they literally don't have a name until that first client buys.
Cool.
And so I don't
fun.
And we don't typically tell them until after they've said yes to the dress that it's from my line and it's now going to be named after them. So it's just kind of like a fun bonus.
Oh my gosh. So I can come and buy the Devin. Devin's stunning.
But, you know, and I guess I bring up the Devin dress because she had a very particular idea in mind. And after she wore the dress and I got thinking about it, there is a lot of brides that want that style. But the other side of it too is really understanding your build in your frame. And we all are unique and beautiful in our own ways, and there is no right figure for bridal gowns. It's all about getting the gown to fit your figure the best, make you feel and look the best, right? So we love the Devin dress so much because it has the illusion cutouts that create such an awesome illusion for your waistline on a very athletic build. Lots of women have athletic builds, right? Lots of athletes. And therefore that just kind of creates that feminine curve. It's just, we really like it. Yeah. And it's got a really nice train.
stunning. It was stunning. So so for instance, she comes in, gets this custom dress, then do you like consult her and be like, we really like this, we want other brides to have it? Because don't brides come in to be like, it's one of a kind, no one is ever gonna wear it?
Absolutely. That's a great question, because yes, one of one is something that we pride ourselves on for custom. We never ever we never carry a sample dress that a bride has purchased unless they've given us the approval for it. We have had a couple of brides through 2022 that when they came for their final fitting and we say to them, we love your dress, would you be open to us carrying it as your name in the shop as a sample? And some of them have said, you know what, I'd actually prefer to just keep it to myself. Cool with us. That's totally fine. So then we just don't. And then that's the only person that'll ever wear that dress.
That's
Fair,
so
fair.
cool. Oh,
Yeah.
that's sick.
I love it. And for the difference then, so if you come in and get custom or you're buying quote unquote off the rack, is it the same timing that we discussed at the beginning, come a year in advance, or would the timing look a little bit different for how much time you need to buy it?
For custom?
Yeah, compared to the off the rack.
Custom would be the same turnaround time as any orderable gown. I would say it probably is 2 months shorter because we don't have a middleman we're working with. You're working directly with the designer, the designer's assistant, and then of course I work directly with the manufacturer. So it does cut a little bit of time. Our shipping also is a lot quicker than any other line that I work with. We usually receive our dresses in 3 to 5 business days after they've been shipped, whereas a lot of other companies take 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay.
So that
Well, the place to go, people.
I'm your gal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But of course, with off the rack, I mean, if a bride's getting married in December, they can technically come in right now and buy off the rack.
Had a shot at me.
Yeah, Monica. No. Love it.
By the time this comes out, I'll have a wedding dress.
Monica's gonna get a
That's
dress.
the best part of it.
Okay, so what is your favorite part about being a like boutique dress store owner?
I would say definitely the first point would be building up brides' confidence and helping them see their own unique beauty, not comparing themselves to beauty standards, social media, Pinterest, Photoshop, just loving themselves for who they are, the shape that they are, and that's the best part. I love when brides come in, and especially because we're an appointment only boutique, I find that we attract a lot of clients that maybe are a little bit more conscious of not wanting to be around large groups of people. They want to feel comfortable and not feel like a bunch of strangers are staring at them, which is totally understandable. And so when those clients come in a little bit leery of how things are going to go, and then they end up walking out the door with just the biggest smile on their face and literally saying, I am so hot, that's the goal.
Yeah.
You know,
I
like,
love that.
that's just the best feeling in the world. Like we had a bride a couple months ago, and I wish I could have recorded it and just posted it 3 times a day for other people to see. But we were in the fitting room, just her and I. Everybody else was out here on the couch waiting for her. And I'm doing up the dress, and she's just staring at herself in the mirror, because we have a mirror in the fitting room as well. And she just looks at herself. She's like, oh my God, I am so hot. Like, yes, we need more of that, you know? And there's no shame in that. You should 100% be proud of the body that you have.
Yeah.
So as you can tell, I'm exceptionally passionate about that.
I think that's huge though. Like even some of our clients, like I think a couple of years ago, you had one of our clients and she was like, I went to so many different stores and the way that they made me feel was horrible. And I remember her posting about that, and I literally wanted to cry for her because she is like the sweetest person. I'm like,
Yeah.
no freaking way are these people walking into these stores on shopping for one of the most important days and special days of their lives and being told, oh, we don't have that, or you don't fit this, or like that. Just, oh my God, I could cry right now. That makes me feel horrible. And I just remember her chatting on her Instagram about how amazing you guys made her feel. And I was just like, thank God there's people like you in this industry, because
Thank you.
there's just, in every aspect. It's like when it comes to hair and makeup and just comparing like Pinterest and Instagram and all that stuff, it's like, oh my God, I could
It
go
can
on.
be so toxic when you try and compare
So
yourself
toxic.
to everybody else. And at the end of the day, it's your day. Nobody knows what you're going through and what's going on in your life. And you just have to enjoy it. And you don't need to fit into whatever quote unquote beauty standards there are.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, in our 2-hour appointments, I can't tell you the amount of times that we've done therapy sessions on the couch and clients end up saying, do I got to pay you like a therapy fee? Well, no, but we genuinely care about our clients. And there's so much more that goes into planning a wedding than what we see on Pinterest that is important to take into consideration for our clients, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. No, but that's definitely the biggest thing for doing that. I mean, and then, like I touched on, I obviously love that we have the 2-hour slots. So being the owner and being able to set up private appointments for 2 hours, that's when I started working in bridal, like I said, 12 years ago, I remember feeling like these are way too rushed, these hour appointments. I was forced to go between 3 to 4 clients in 1 hour appointment. And I just got the ick, as the kids say, right? Like, I just felt like, why can't I just focus on this one bride and make her feel valuable? And now we get the opportunity to do that.
Amazing. And I guess for you, Sam, what would you say is like your favorite part about working there?
Can I just say ditto? Like,
Sure.
Yeah.
You know what? And that, I think that's what's so important. And people have asked me that a lot about Sam. Does she have any experience in bridal? She doesn't need it, because she is so about uplifting others and making them feel like their best selves. You can't train that. You either have that in yourself, you genuinely care about another individual, even if it's the first 5 minutes you met them or not, right? And if you are genuinely caring about how someone feels and looks, you're going to know what dresses to pull. And she does. There's sometimes she pulls dresses and I'm like, oh shit, why didn't I think of that? So it's, yeah.
Amazing.
it's great. And I just love seeing these brides leave so happy and loving themselves just a little bit more. Definitely.
Like, I want to go there and just try on dresses so I can, like, one, just hang out with you guys, and two, just like, yes.
It's so fun. Let's do it. Come over. We'll make a TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Do a TikTok collab.
Yeah. We're
We
pretty
need a
good.
TikTok first for that. Okay, awesome. So besides the gloves, is there any other trends of 2023 that you think will come out?
Tell us.
Yes. So like I had said earlier, less lace, more crepe and satin, more texture in the gowns opposed to beading and lace. Gathering ruching is coming back from 10 years ago. The gloves, sleeves, non-traditional options as well. Black wedding dresses, they're going to be doing great. Floral wedding dresses, very, very excited about that.
What's a floral wedding dress? Is that just like?
That's a great question. So instead of having, your standard full ivory gown or full champagne, it's actually going to have floral print.
I love that.
Not embroidery, just print on like a satin fabric.
I've seen that, and it's like the puffy sleeves and like the
detachable
crackless,
everything.
It's
Let's get
stunning.
2 or 3 dresses out of one,
Yeah.
Yes.
But we're also going to be welcoming a lot more suits and rompers in 2023 as well.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love a freaking pantsuit.
Yeah,
Woo!
and it's just being all inclusive for all of our clients, and we
Yeah.
want to be able to offer less feminine options as well.
Yeah.
Not everybody wants to wear this big ball gown dress, so let's get some sick suits in here, right?
My
Love
God,
it.
I love that you're doing that. I think
Mm-hmm.
I want to say you're probably, I mean, besides rompers, because those have been popular for like, dress changes or things
Yeah.
like that, but being able to offer suits is incredible. I don't think anyone else that I've heard of, for the most part in the city, it's pretty slim to none.
Well, I mean, even if you think about it as an entrepreneur, a woman in business, where do we have to go for a custom suit built to our frame?
Nowhere.
Idea.
Nowhere. There's nowhere to go.
But that's not custom. That's fast fashion.
Yeah, right. And so we're very excited that we're going to be able to offer that in the new year.
I love it. You guys are
Yeah.
incredible. Okay, before we let you go, tell
Yeah.
everyone where they can find you online, where they can go to book an appointment, check out the Michelle line. Tell us more.
Absolutely. So you can find us, the place that we're kind of the most would be Instagram, TikTok. We're
Facebook.
doing our best, guys, with TikTok.
You're killing it.
We're old.
Facebook obviously is just, that's always going to be there. We just opened a Pinterest account, start putting some of our inspiration on there. For booking an appointment, the best way would be through phone call, text, or email. Those are the best ways to contact us. And yeah.
The website.
Oh yeah, of course. So for the Michelle line, we do have a website for it. So that's michelle.ca, and brides can take a look at the collection for 2022 on there. We're going to be updating that soon with brides from 2022, just so people can see the inspiration and what other brides have created.
Mhm.
And then we'll also be adding more photos in the new year for our 2023 collection.
And can you buy online, or you have to come to store to buy the Michelle collection?
As of right now, you have to book an appointment to know prices and to buy a gown.
Purchase. Fair. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much. I feel like that was incredible. So much information. And I just feel like it will leave lots of brides just set up for success for their appointment. And
That's the goal.
yeah, for dress shopping. Totally.
Good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, ladies. We loved having you on, and we'll see. We can't wait. Maybe I'll be there soon.
Woo! You better.
Right on.
I'm just going to stop here.